Gene Bernier has transitioned from programming computers back in the 80s to building world-class websites for nonprofits and other businesses. He's going to share with us the top 3 things that businesses do wrong when they build a website. Welcome to the show, Gene.
Thanks, Randy.
And you are the co-founder
Yeah.
of Cheeky Monkey Media.
That's
so
correct.
we have to find out where that name of the company came from.
Sure, actually, that's one of the questions we get asked a lot. We've only actually had one person ever guess it right. So back in the day, Mike Myers used to do this skit on SNL, which he was this little English guy who would sit in the tub and always say, "Are you looking at my bum, you cheeky monkey?" And so when my co-founder was trying to come up with a name, he always loved that skit, and his mom used to call him a cheeky monkey because she was an English lady as well. And he's just like, "Oh, it's got to be something catchy, something like, like Cheeky Monkey Media, but something like professional." And everyone went, "No, that's good." And he blew it off for about a month until everyone kept going, "That's the one that sticks." And so that's how we became Cheeky Monkey Media.
It actually kind of rolls off your tongue, so I think it works.
It really does.
Now, you were a computer programmer.
Yeah.
But your partner transitioned from owning a chain of bookstores?
Yeah, so back in his earlier days, he's always been very entrepreneurial in spirit. So he owned, I think, 3 bookstores or maybe 4 back in Vancouver more than a decade ago. So that's kind of where he got the bite to be entrepreneur and really kind of took that by the horn.
So your company today is really a world-class media company that is working primarily with some pretty big nonprofits. How did you get into the area of nonprofits, like building websites for nonprofits?
Yeah, I wish we had like a cool, sexy story about that, but it literally fell into our lap. And we used to do a lot of work for other bigger agencies. We were muscle for hire, and we started kind of taking some of their projects that they didn't have, were under their budget load, and those were a lot at the time, a lot of nonprofits.
Right, maybe can't afford the big agency.
And so we that was one of our first pivots where we kind of realized, hey, maybe we could do this as well. So we started collecting a few of these, and as we collected more of them, we just kept getting more of them because we were able to have we learned how to have the proper conversations with these guys, figuring out what was important to them. And we've just kind of really gotten behind that bandwagon where we have a lot of fun with them. And they're, it's like I say, they've got a lot of interesting challenges they try to overcome, and it's fun to help them go through that journey.
And you feel like you're doing something good and not just building a business, you're helping, helping a helping agency?
Yeah, and kind of helping build that business. We're also helping them build their business as well, because a lot of them, we talk to many of them and talk about something we call donor fatigue, where they come to us, they're like, "Hey, how do you raise money, or how do you get money?" Well, we ask donors for it. Be like, well, there's so many other awesome ways that you can do it. Just because you're a nonprofit doesn't mean raising money is a dirty thing. So let's see what other kind of tools you've got. Could it be how maybe you can start doing events. Maybe you've got services that you can sell to other nonprofits or within your community itself. You don't always have to be kind of sitting out there going, "Hey, it's that time of the month again."
It's interesting because you're in the business of building websites, essentially. But in order to build a website, you have to find out all about the person's business and what their challenge is and what they're trying to accomplish with the website. So it sounds like you end up becoming a business advisor.
Kind of, a lot of us kind of feel like we're business analysts at the end of the day, where, it really is. Like we say a lot of times, launching that website, that's just a very small part of your journey. So much more has to happen after that site's launched, maintaining it, building communities around it, actually finding and toning your message to the right people. So it's a lot more actual work to maintain that and get the message going than actually building it.
So the technology curve is going like this and like this and like this.
Yeah.
And I imagine it's the same in the whole world of websites. I mean, it's not even about a website anymore. It's about your mobile app, et cetera, et cetera. So what's happening in the world? Like, how has your business changed in the last little while?
Great question. I would say it's changed actually quite a lot from what we were doing when we first started out as 2 guys in our basements.
Which was how long ago?
I've been at this for over 6 years now. So I guess 2010 is kind of when Rick and I teamed up and started
6
doing
years
this.
doesn't sound like a long time to me, but in the world of the internet, it's actually, it's the olden days.
It really is, and like this industry is still so very much in its infancy from comparing it to other industries out there. So when we say 6 years, yeah, we take that for granted. That's actually a really short period of time from going from 2 guys to over 20 with a handful of contractors and things along those lines.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what types, so it's nonprofits, but you also deal with other companies. What's the sort of price range of a website that you guys like to build, or is that a fair question?
It's always a difficult question, honestly, to answer because everyone is a little bit different. So when people are coming to us, we want to actually kind of understand what their problems are before we just start throwing pricing out the door. Now, for a lot of times, for our projects, we do bigger builds with bigger agencies because we provide the full service package. So a lot of the times that can start in like the $30,000 to $40,000 range and go up. We've got projects that, are 6-figure projects that are multiple year, multiple campaigns and things that go on along with it.
In the early days of the internet, people were spending, millions of dollars, big companies spending millions of dollars. Today, I see advertisements for, the website's free. Just sign up for $10 a month. What's the difference? Like for SME, we have a lot of people watching this show that are smaller companies. Why do they need to hire someone or work with a professional company like yours to build a website?
I think it's a great point that anybody can go out and get a website started. There's a lot of great tools out there to help you get going. The big challenge I find is that it's daunting. That's a new task you've got to put on your plate. That's taking away from what you're actually good at, what your business is trying to do. Where you bring in somebody like Cheeky Monkey Media, we're able to come in, we take that load off, and we help make sure that by the end of it, you've got a great product that you're going to be proud to stand behind.
And getting attention on the web, so building the site, it's like, that's awesome. You might have the best website ever. Is anybody ever going to see it?
Right. We always have this thing, just because you build it doesn't mean they're going to come. It's not the field of dreams. So we want to make sure that we really hammer that message home, because a lot of times that can be forgotten. Even 5 years ago, a lot of people it was their first website, and they're like, ooh, I'm on the web. I can be found. This is an amazing time. We're not there anymore. A lot of our customers are on, site number 2, maybe even 3, and they're starting to go, I don't know what I'm getting out of this or why I've even got it up here. Like, I've got it up here because everybody else, and that's the table stakes now for being in business, but what do I do with it? So we kind of saw that as an opportunity for allow us to kind of pivot and grow our company to start having that conversation. Like, great, just because it's pretty doesn't mean it's going to succeed. Just because it's out there doesn't mean you're going to turn into an overnight millionaire. And the reality is that doesn't really happen anyways. It's you have to put in a lot of hard work to build a community, to build your message, and to make sure you're finding the right people for that.
So you guys at Cheeky Monkey Media, and there's like 20 of you now, plus contractors. So you're involved in not just the building of the site, but all the preparatory work and actually rolling it out and getting attention?
Yeah. We are a full service agency now, so we do everything from strategy, design, to development, launch, and then all the marketing and communication, social media. Marketing is that big bubble of all this wonderful things that we do to actually talk to people. So we do it all now because we realize that people don't want to go off and have like one vendor for their design, one vendor that does their site, another vendor that's helping them on Facebook, another guy that's doing their, maybe their Google PPC campaigns and things along those lines.
So you're involved in the whole social media world.
Yeah, so we're from start to finish for our clients, we're able to be there the entire journey.
And this, obviously, for some of the new business, but mostly, I guess, what you're working with is people going, my website sucks, and there's a lot going on.
Yeah.
It's time to blow it up and rebuild the whole thing.
Exactly. And, I think as well, we see a lot of people that are coming to us that are, like we talked about, being on site 2 or 3, but by this point, they've got so many different apps that are doing different pieces of their whole business. We can sit down and actually have a conversation with them and figure out a plan to bring that all under one hood so that they're not chasing all these, we call it appitis in the office. So they're, kind of cut it down to the basics, and everything else, we can build a system that manages all that. And, 9.9 times out of 10, we're getting a high five at the end of the day for it and helping them save time because now they can get back to what they do best again.
Jean Bernier, we promised to share the 3 biggest mistakes that companies make or nonprofits in building their website.
Sure. Well, I kind of alluded to them already through this. Number 1 is just because you build it doesn't mean it's going to come. And like I think I already mentioned, a lot of times people miss that step or just think that putting it out there is good enough and posting on Facebook once. No, it takes a lot of work. It's a big investment to actually build that message, especially if you're starting from zero or starting from a position that you've lost a lot of power in your market. The second one is pretty doesn't matter. We're big proponents of just because it's pretty doesn't mean you're going to have success or that people are going to like it. We don't want everybody to focus on pretty. We actually, one of our kind of inside mantras is we want people to stop saying, I want a pretty website. You don't want a pretty website. You want something that's going to get you a return on your investment. You want something that's going to move your market. You want something that's going to actually get you your message out there. You want to find ways to measure that. So pretty is kind of this subjective measurement where we want people to come in who are spending a lot of money to get this out there, say, hey, how are we tracking success?
So they're not necessarily going to come just because you build it. Doesn't need to be pretty. What's the third one?
The third one is just because there's a brand new shiny tool or app out there doesn't mean it's right for you. We really kind of push back a lot of times for people to go, yeah, that's cool, but let's see is this the right fit? Does it do what you're needing to do? Does it fit within kind of your marketplace and your business values? Sometimes it doesn't, and that's all right. There are some really cool tools and some new apps coming out every day. Some of them are going to be right, some of them aren't. Just we really hesitate on just jumping at the latest and greatest.
I want to wrap up by asking about video because everyone virtually in the world is walking around now with an HD TV set in their hand and an HD camera. So how does that impact the whole idea of a website? Do you now almost have to build a television station for your clients?
It's a great question. I want to say yes and no. It's a bit of a cop-out answer, but I think it really kind of depends again on who the client is. Some nonprofits really need to think about themselves as a content publishing company. They're trying to always do new things and push stuff out, and some of them that just doesn't fit what they're going after. So if that is more the line that we're going to help them work towards, then things like video, social media, even Snapchat and Instagram, those are all powerful tools when used appropriately. So it's definitely that little supercomputer that sits in our pocket has changed a lot of things in our industry and in the world.
Jean Bernier from Cheeky Monkey Media.
Yeah.
So great to have you on the show.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate it. Yeah.